Welcome back to the Dream Stream with dream journalist DJ Dreamy. Tonight, we step into a current that has been quietly weaving its way through multiple dreams, a pattern of movement, direction, hesitation, and choice. Not just where we're going, but how we know we're on the right path at all. Some of these dreams are simple, missing a stop, taking a wrong turn. Others unfold into something deeper, questions of identity, alignment, and whether we're navigating our own life or following someone else's map. As we move through these dreams, notice what resonates for you. Where do you feel clear? Where do you hesitate? And where might something in your life be quietly asking for a course correction? Let's step into the current. I'm standing at an airport, surrounded by that familiar hum of motion, rolling suitcases, distant announcements, people moving with purpose. There's a shuttle system running just outside, and I can feel that quiet pressure of timing, like everything is moving on a schedule I need to stay aligned with. I'm with my kids, helping guide them toward the right bus. I'm paying attention, at least I think I am, tracking which shuttle is ours, where it's headed, when it stops. It feels like one of those moments where I'm responsible not just for myself, but for getting everyone where they need to go. The bus pulls up, and we step on. For a moment, everything feels settled. We're in motion. I look around, scanning the seats, the windows, the other passengers. There's a rhythm to it. The stopping, the starting, the quiet flow of people getting off at each destination. Then something pulls my attention. It's small at first, something about the twiddlers, little details that catch my curiosity. I focus on them, just briefly, like I've got a second to spare. My mind drifts into that observation, turning it over, following it just a bit too far, and then something snaps back into awareness. I look up. Wait, this was our stop. A jolt runs through me as I realize we've already passed it. People had gotten off. The moment had come and gone, and I missed it. Stop! This is our stop, I call out to the driver, urgency rising in my voice. There's that sinking feeling, like I should have caught it. Like I was right there and somehow still let it slip. I'm suddenly aware of my kids again, of the responsibility I carry in this moment, of the fact that my attention drifted at the exact wrong time. The bus slows. Everything compresses into that realization. I knew the system. I was in the right place. I just missed the moment to act. And now I'm trying to correct it before we get carried any further off course. Sometimes navigation isn't about knowing the route. It's about staying present long enough to recognize when you've arrived. And when attention slips, even for a moment, the cost isn't always dramatic, but it is meaningful. But what happens when it's not just a missed stop? What happens when the destination itself is off? I walk into my workplace like I've done so many times before. There's no hesitation at first, just that automatic rhythm. Through the entrance, down the familiar path, carrying the quiet assumption that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. It all feels routine, almost muscle memory, like my body knows the way without needing to think. But then something starts to feel off. It's subtle, not enough to stop me right away. Just a slight dissonance in the atmosphere, like the space isn't quite matching the version I expected. I keep moving anyway, trying to reconcile it as I go. And then it hits me. This isn't where I work anymore. I've walked into my old workplace, as if nothing had changed. I pause in that realization, standing in a place that used to belong to me, but doesn't anymore. It's strange how easily I got here, how naturally I followed an outdated map without even questioning it. I decide to lean into the moment instead of backing out. Maybe I'll at least say hi. I find one of my former bosses, and I walk up to him with a kind of lightness, almost amused at myself. I just did that thing, I say, smiling a little. You know, where you go to your workplace, but it's the wrong one? Before I can even finish, he nods, like he already knows exactly what I mean, like he's finishing the sentence with me without needing the words. There's a brief sense of connection in that, shared understanding, so I go to shake his hand. But he doesn't take it. He just moves on. It's quick, not dramatic, just a quiet bypass, like I'm no longer part of the exchange that would make that gesture matter. I stand there for a second, hand half extended, feeling that small but noticeable drop inside. A flicker of something. Confusion? Maybe a hint of offense? I consider calling it out, saying something about it, but I don't. I let it pass. And in that moment, the whole thing lands. I came back to a place that used to recognize me and expected it to still respond the same way. But I'm not part of that system anymore. And maybe it's not even personal. It's just that I followed an old route and arrived somewhere that no longer holds me. There's a strange feeling in realizing you've arrived somewhere familiar, and yet it no longer belongs to you. No alarms, no warnings, just a quiet recognition. I followed the path correctly, but the path itself was outdated. And sometimes the next question isn't, how did I get here, but do I stay, or do I choose differently next time? I'm traveling with a group, family it seems, and we're moving together along a path that winds through open space. Up ahead I see it, a mountain rising in the distance, and built into it, or resting alongside it, is an amusement park. There's something about it that immediately pulls at me. It feels familiar, like I've known it before, or at least imagined it. I can almost picture what it would be like to stay there, to spend the night, to explore it fully, to step into whatever experience it holds. I start to form a quiet plan in my mind. I could go there. I could stay the night. I could follow that path. But as I look around, I notice the rest of the group. They're not heading that way. Their direction is different. Subtle at first, but clear enough. They're continuing on, choosing another route, moving towards something else entirely. And I feel that internal pause, that moment where I realize I have a choice to make. Do I break off and follow what's calling me, or do I stay with them? I hesitate. There's a part of me that doesn't want to inconvenience anyone, doesn't want to create friction or make things complicated. It feels easier, smoother to just go along with the group, to keep things cohesive. So I do. I let the mountain and the amusement park remain where they are, off to the side, still visible, still calling, but no longer my destination. Instead, I follow the group. As we walk, I shift into a lighter energy. There's a little girl with us, and I start playing around, putting a bunch of peanuts in my mouth and making funny faces at her. She laughs, and I lean into that moment, being playful, being present with what's in front of me. And yet, somewhere in the background, the mountain is still there. The path I didn't take lingers quietly. Not with regret exactly, but with awareness. I chose connection over direction, ease over divergence. And I keep moving forward with the group, carrying both the joy of the moment and the echo of the path I left behind. And as these questions of direction began to surface, they didn't stay contained to just a few dreams. They echoed. Across different scenes, different settings, the same underlying current kept appearing. Moments of choosing, hesitating, adjusting, or simply noticing the path beneath my feet. Here are a few of those glimpses. In Open Well and Land Clearing, I walk across familiar ground and suddenly notice a deep, open well, an unseen danger beneath the surface. While nearby, I begin clearing sticks and debris so I can move freely and safely if needed, revealing how navigation isn't just about moving forward, but about recognizing hidden depths and preparing the terrain before taking your next step. In Super Filtering Process, Agent Selection, A strange operation unfolds in a parking structure as vehicles surround a target, and a dog subtly guides me away, followed by an encounter with someone who seems to know everything about me, as if I am being evaluated, suggesting that not every environment is random, and that sometimes we are being positioned, filtered, or quietly invited into a larger role. In Poldark, Mission Impossible Jungle Gym, I move through shifting environments, climbing, floating, and navigating like I'm on a mission, nearly committing to the wrong direction mid-air before correcting myself, only to later remember my car has faulty brakes, highlighting that even when moving with confidence and purpose, navigation still requires awareness and grounding. In Galactic Park and Water Currents, I rise above powerful rushing water and initially fear being pulled under, but instead, I begin bouncing across the currents with ease as the environment expands into a vast park, ocean, and star-filled sky, illustrating that what first feels dangerous can become effortless when we learn to move with the current rather than against it. And in Mirror Portal and Black Star Jump, I encounter a mirror leading to an alternate version of reality that feels unstable, prompting me to return, before later being called to leap into a black, star-like portal in the sky, a leap I choose to take, revealing that not every portal is meant for us, but when the right one appears, navigation becomes an act of trust. Taken together, these fragments begin to form something larger, not just isolated moments, but a pattern. A sense that navigation isn't always about movement forward. Sometimes it's about orientation, learning the terrain of where you already are. I'm in an apartment complex that I know is mine. At least, I've been living here for a couple of months. There's a sense that this is where I stay now, where I come back to after everything else. And yet, it doesn't feel fully familiar. I step out into the hallway, heading toward a storage room across from my apartment. I have a simple task in mind. I need to turn off a karaoke machine that's been left on. It feels minor, almost routine, like something I've done before. I walk into the storage room and start looking around. There are shelves, boxes, that slightly dim, unused feeling that storage spaces always have. I move toward the machine, reaching to unplug it, but something feels off. Not wrong exactly, just not quite right. Then it clicks. This isn't my storage room. I pause, taking in the space more carefully now. The arrangement is unfamiliar. The energy is different. I've stepped into a room that looks similar enough to belong, but doesn't. A cleaning lady walks in and looks at me. "Are you lost?" she asks. There's no accusation in her voice, just a simple, almost obvious question. And I realize I don't actually know where I'm going. I step back out into the hallway, trying to reorient myself. I start walking, turning corners, scanning doors, trying to find my way back. Not just to the right storage room, but to my apartment itself. But the more I move through the complex, the more I notice something unsettling. I've been living here, and I don't really know this place. There are hallways I haven't explored, rooms I've never stepped into, neighbors I don't recognize. It's like I've been passing through my own environment without ever fully mapping it. I think about how long I've been here, months maybe, and yet it feels like I just arrived. There's this quiet realization that settles in as I keep walking. I've entered a new phase of life, but I haven't really explored it. I haven't learned the layout. I haven't claimed the space. I've just been moving through it, back and forth, work and home, without ever stopping to understand where I actually am. I slow down. Less urgency now. More awareness. Because it's not just about finding the right storage room anymore. It's about learning the place I'm already in. There's a particular kind of disorientation that doesn't come from being far away, but from being somewhere new, and not yet knowing how to move within it. And even more subtly, realizing you've been there longer than you thought, without fully exploring it. I find myself in an elegant home, surrounded by a family that feels refined, almost aristocratic. There's a quiet sense that I've only recently become part of this world, like I'm still learning how things are done here. It's time for tea. I step in to help set everything up, wanting to contribute, wanting to do it right. I look around for the cups and saucers, asking where they are, being pointed in different directions. When I reach for one set, someone gently suggests another would be better. Use those instead. I pause, then nod. Okay, that works. I adjust. I go with what's being recommended. I want to align with the flow of the household, to meet expectations without disrupting anything. I carefully place the coasters, the cups, trying to get it just right. And then, I'm driving. It's sudden, like the scene shifts without warning. I'm behind the wheel of a car that feels unfamiliar. Something like a luxury vehicle, smooth but powerful. I'm on the phone with my dad, explaining how things are going. I'm driving it now, I tell him, trying to sound composed. Still getting used to it. He starts asking me questions, specific ones. Something about how the back end of the car is responding, what I'm noticing, how it's handling. His voice is steady, instructive, like he's trying to guide me through it. But as I'm talking to him, I'm also driving. There's a car ahead, something I need to avoid. I adjust the wheel, staying focused, but my attention is split. Part of me is in the conversation, trying to answer well, trying to keep up with what he's asking. The other part of me is on the road, navigating in real time. I'm trying to avoid this car, I say, half to him, half to myself. There's a tension in that moment, like I can feel the edges of my focus stretching too thin. I manage to pass the car safely, but I can tell this isn't sustainable. I can't fully do both. And then another thought surfaces. I should probably go back inside, back to the tea, back to helping, back to the role I had just stepped into. I may need to head back in, I start to say, sensing that I'm being pulled in multiple directions at once. At the same time, I can feel that my dad is running out of time too, that the conversation itself is nearing its end. Everything feels divided. I'm learning something new, I'm being guided, I'm trying to serve, I'm trying to stay present, and yet, I'm not fully in any one place. The car keeps moving forward, but inside I can feel the question forming. Where does my attention actually belong right now? Now the path begins to split. Not into different directions, but into different demands, responsibility, learning, movement, service. And suddenly it's not about choosing one path over another. It's about trying to hold multiple paths at once and feeling what that does to clarity. I'm in a car with someone else, and something already feels off before anything even happens. It's subtle at first, like I'm not fully confident in how everything is working, like I'm still learning the vehicle while already being in motion. The responsibility feels shared, but also unclear. I'm driving, but not fully grounded in it. Then something goes wrong. The car starts malfunctioning. Not in one clear, dramatic way, but in a layered, disorienting way. The controls don't respond how I expect. The timing feels off. I hesitate, unsure whether to push forward, slow down, or stop altogether. Every decision feels delayed by a fraction of a second, and that delay compounds into overwhelm. The person with me is reacting too. I can feel their presence, their concern, maybe even their doubt. It's not necessarily spoken outright, but it's there, this shared awareness that something isn't working the way it should. And then I become aware of others, people outside the car, watching. There's a sense of exposure, like this isn't just a private struggle with a system that's breaking down, but something visible, interpreted, judged. I can feel the weight of their perception pressing in, making it harder to think clearly, harder to respond cleanly. I try to correct course, but the more I try, the less intuitive it feels. The system isn't responding in a way I trust, and I'm no longer sure if the issue is the car or me. Everything slows into that moment of hesitation. Do I keep going and risk making it worse? Do I stop and admit that something has broken down? Do I ask for help, even with people already watching? The dream holds me right there, in that tension between action and uncertainty, between shared responsibility and internal doubt. And what lingers most is this feeling. It's not just that the car malfunctioned, it's that the navigation itself broke down between me, the system, the other person, and the eyes of the world watching it happen. When navigation becomes shared, the stakes shift. It's no longer just about your own direction, but how you move together. And when the system itself begins to break down, sometimes the only option left is to stop, to pause, to reassess what's actually working and what isn't. I'm sitting there late at night, looking at my calendar. It's Thursday, and I'm trying to wrap up some homework. Just trying to get everything done so I can finally go home. I can see that tomorrow is Friday, and there's some kind of food event first period. That actually sounds kind of fun. And then it hits me. I'm not in school anymore. There's this strange sense of relief that comes over me, like I've been operating under an old system, still thinking in terms of schedules, classes, obligations that don't actually apply to me now. And even with that realization, my mind keeps going. I start thinking in school terms again. If I were still here, would I go to band first period? Next year, senior year, would I even take math? Have I finished enough already? I'm trying to log into a computer, but something's off. My login credentials might have expired. I keep trying to get it to work, hoping I don't have to reboot the whole system. Eventually, I grab my bag and head toward the door. Right before I leave, my dad is about to explain something. He's starting into one of those explanations I've heard before. The difference between a normal war and a civil war is, and I jump in and say the punchline before he gets to it, one only takes up part of the country, and a civil war spreads across the whole thing. I immediately wonder if he heard me. I hope I didn't interrupt him or offend him, because he continues on, starting his usual explanation anyway. From there, the conversation shifts. We start talking about plane routes across Africa, how different paths are taken, what kinds of planes are used. And I make this observation. Even if you used a water plane going up Africa, there'd probably be a lot of places to land. It's not the fastest route, but it would work. Eventually, I arrive at the place where I'm supposed to leave. There's a biplane, a water plane, waiting. I've got my duffel bag and another bag with me, and I start making my way toward it. The setup is a little precarious. Bags floating, docks, narrow footing. My duffel bag is actually bobbing in the water, and I'm stepping across it and other bags, carefully making my way to the plane. I'm thinking, just don't fall in, and somehow, I'm doing pretty well. Then suddenly, I realize something. My black bag, the one with all my school stuff in it, my calculator, everything important. I don't have it. There's urgency now. People are saying, we've got to get going. But I stop, because I know something. Even though I'm becoming a little lucid, aware that this is a dream, I have this thought. I could just imagine the bag being there, but then I push back against that. No, if I fake it here, it won't be there when I need it for real. So instead, I turn around and run back into the building to go get the actual bag. I move quickly, retracing my steps, going back through the facility, and I find it. The black bag. I grab it, bring it back out, and return to the water plane. And from there, I make my way back across the floating path, toward departure. Across all of these dreams, one thing becomes clear. Navigation isn't a single skill, it's a layered awareness. It's timing, attention, choice, orientation, and sometimes the willingness to stop and begin again. Some paths are fast. Some are slow. Some require us to carry everything with us, and others ask us to let something go. And maybe the deeper question underneath all of it is this: what kind of traveler am I becoming? As you move through your own waking world, notice the signals, the subtle hesitations, the quiet recognitions, the moments where something feels just slightly off. They may not be interruptions, they may be guidance. Sleep well, and welcome whatever you're ready to receive.